Hey there, it's Joel coming at you from Planet Scooby, and I've got a couple of updates for you. The first being tomorrow, being Tuesday, January 3rd, we're going to start up ScoobStats again on the Instagram page, or ScoobStats again. I'll put the link below if you want to follow me. What we're doing, every Tuesday, I'm going to show like a chart of some sort. I'll have some statistics on it, like a column chart or a bar chart or a line chart or something. And you kind of have to guess what fits into that chart, what matches that stat. It's a fun game. So we're going to do Tuesday is the question, Friday is the answer. It used to be Monday, Saturday, but I wanted to shorten the gap between it because I honestly kind of forgot what was going on. Like I had it Monday, Saturday, and by the time Saturday came around, I forgot what the question was, and I imagine you were too. So I'm shortening the time. I'm doing Tuesday and Fridays. Will be the reveal around 9 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. But yeah, I might be late on those days. I don't think any of you care. But if you want to visit, it's Scoob Stats on Instagram. I'll leave a link below. We're going to do 4 of these for the month of February, and it's going to be based on Laugh Olympics. So it's a lot easier getting stats for Laugh Olympics because it's sports related. And as we know, there's a lot of sports stats out there. That's what we're kind of doing. We're going to start off really easy, and then each week I'm going to make it harder and harder. And I think the fourth week is going to be very difficult. It's solvable, but difficult. And it should be fun. And if that's something you're interested in, visit the Instagram page, add me, and participate. It's fun to guess. Don't think you have to get the answers right. I would never get any of them right between me and you. That's why I'm doing this because I'm just curious. I want to know, but even after I do it, I forget the answers right away. Next thing I wanted to show you is just some additional updates to my website, the functionality, and I'm just going to jump to an in screen now to show you that. Full version of me mentioned, I have some updates to my website, planetscooby.com. I'll leave a link for that below too. So one of the first things I added this about 6 months ago, is I have a bar chart or column chart going on here. And these colors were picked out by Wendy Bridge. Check her out. I'll leave her Instagram below too. She's very color centric, so it's very helpful to do these colors. Thank you, Wendy. But what's cool about this is this chart will be reduced by kind of what you enter above. So we have these filters here. If we select a movie, it'll show you the character appearances in movies. So we know Scooby and Shaggy are always together in a movie, but Fred, he's missing from 4 movies, and Daphne's missing from 3, and so on and so forth. We even got Scrappy. My Scrappy is wrong right now. I have him as 2. He's in 3, right? He's in Ghoul School and Boo Brothers and Reluctant Werewolf and the Scoob movie. So actually he's in 4. I have to add Scrappy in, but this is kind of helping me find mistakes as well. And then, when you look at this too, there's a couple of things to consider. This page is going to take a long time to load. It's not going to look great on mobile devices or tablets. It's going to be kind of a little bit janky. I haven't set that functionality in yet. And there's going to be some errors, and because I'm still correcting things in this, but I'd say it's like 90% of the way there for a lot of things. Let's do series. We can look at all the stats in the series, and I think that's cool. I'd say Scrappy's 99% accurate there, but I might have him set as I might have him set in an episode that thinks it's a movie. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'll just move on. Let's see. We got, you can select the individual series if you just want to look at Johnny Bravo, which is actually a crossover special. Again, or not again, but this is something cool. This is cascading filters. So anything you click in here, it'll adjust the filters. And that tells you a lot of information too. Like if we look at Johnny Bravo, the country is the United States. That's your only selection. But if we clear filters and we look at country, you get all the countries. And we can look at Japan, France, India, whatever. I'm selecting here, just random things. And we can look at all the series that have those 3 countries. And I think that's pretty cool. Very, very powerful. Like right away, you don't think this is anything cool, but the more you kind of look at it, if I had all the accurate information, again, I'd say it's 90% there. You can select or discover some cool things. We can look at like Mr. Machine is off. That is going to pick a lot of Laugh Olympics episodes. But again, the chart down below, it filters. But that's going to pick a lot of Laugh Olympics. And I separate my Laugh Olympics. I treat each region as a short because so like for example, a lot of people consider the first episode of Laugh Olympics to be Swiss Alps and Tokyo, Japan. I've separated it because Scooby might not appear in the Swiss Alps, but he might appear in Tokyo, vice versa with Tokyo or with Shaggy or any other character like Captain Caveman, Yogi Bear, etc., going on. So I want to know the stats, and that's the way to do it. Also, if you click on this little plus sign, you also get some additional information going on here too, which is cool. But say going back to Mr. Machine, you want to know, you want to exclude Laugh Olympics. What I should do is add check marks beside here so you can just check the episodes you're interested in or series you're interested in. I haven't done that yet, but you can just go, okay, one's Fred the driver. We know Daphne's the driver sometimes, where Fred might not appear in an episode, and we'll just check Shaggy. I don't think Shaggy will change anything with that logic. It might. But then you get a, it can tell you that, okay, there's 92 episodes without the Mr. Machine, right? The first one being Hassle in the Castle. The last one being uh, Movie Land Monsters. Doesn't have the Mist Machine. Again, some of that might be a little wrong. I haven't verified everything, but it's pretty darn close with these filters. I'm going to update it with more filters coming up soon as time permits. And then I just added Frank Welker as fun. So Frank Welker voicing Fred and voicing Scooby. You learn the first time you voice Scooby is Scooby Goes to Hollywood. He does Baby Scooby. If we selected Frank Welker not as Scooby, you won't get. I think you will actually get Scooby Goes to Hollywood there because Frank as Fred is on. But rabbit hole of logic is where I've gone down to. Frank Welker is Fred off. Frank Welker is Scooby on. So there's episodes where Frank isn't Fred, but he's Scooby, right? And you get those episodes and movies. If we just wanted to do movies, we could see, we got Mr. Begins, Curse of Monster Lake, and Scoob. Again, something might be missing here, but I think it's pretty accurate. Next thing I want to show you was Scoob Oracle. If you click on the menu and go down below, there's Monster Madness. And this is all the villains. And again, this is going to take a long, long time to load because it's loading up over 1,200 villains. And this is in beta mode. I'd say this is like 75% of the way there. Same sort of filters. We got gender going on here. So say you wanted all the culprits that are, or all the villains who are female, and you wanted the male culprits. This tells you, well, that's which is which. And we got the culprit as Zeb Perkins. Von Skerheim, I got to change this a bit because he is the culprit, but it was like a teenage girl who played him, so this doesn't really fit who played Medusa. And you might notice I have villain types and subtypes there. And yes, you can filter by that. So we can look at all the werewolves going on here, or Wolfman. I separate them because you have Wolfman and werewolves. And I've kind of separated that. I think they call the werewolf or the Wolfman in Galagal of Galloping Ghost of Werewolf, or who's afraid of the big bad werewolf is a wolf. I have it as Wolfman or werewolf. I have it as werewolf, yeah, but I think it's a Wolfman. But I have it kind of set to both here, I guess. Just so you get a bit of both. I don't know. I got a 75% of the way there. Don't bust my chops, right? But you might notice I also have is a ghost. So this is cool because there's a lot of ghosts going on here, and I didn't want to like have you drill down in too much information. So if we look at again, I've messed this up because we have the ghost of the werewolf, and that werewolf should have been in here, but he's not. So again, I got to fix that. That werewolf from what episode am I thinking of? This is where it comes in handy. I'm thinking of Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Werewolf, right? That werewolf is a ghost werewolf because he comes back from the grave, I believe, right? So I should have him as a ghost. Again, I don't, but just clearing the filters. If we hit is ghost, you get This is why I like it, because most of the humans are going to be ghosts, right? So if you want to look at all the ghost clowns, you can do that. We can go to clown here. But say we want all the clowns that aren't ghosts, we can do that too, right? Because we just click off ghosts and we get the clowns that aren't ghosts. 75% of the way to get there, I gotta remind you, there's gonna be errors. And we did the same thing with real monsters. So we can look at all the real monsters and we can go, okay, how about just in crossover specials? Show me all the real monsters. You get that going on here. Scooby Natural, Ghost Kid. I don't know why I have him set to a real monster. I guess because he's real. He's a real ghost. Yeah, that's why. He's not a person under a mask, right? So he's real. He's not necessarily a monster, but he's real. He's a real ghost in that special. If that makes sense to you, it makes sense to me, but maybe it doesn't to you. Another feature here with hierarchy. So this is really beta mode. This is like 5% of the way there. But we can just look at antagonists and, this kind of gives you an idea of where I'm going. Just things where you don't necessarily have a villain, but they're kind of, pestering, like Scooby's bullfight and Swiss Miss. We get the bulldog, right? He's not necessarily a villain. He's more of an antagonist. Again, I only have I got 26 antagonists. There's way more than that. I got to figure that out going forward. And then flashbacks to I'm verifying all this stuff, but we got it going on. So yeah, this is where I'm kind of going with the site, and I hope you enjoy that. And if you want to try it out, I'm going to break this frequently, but I'm less likely to break it on a weekday. I work on this on the weekend. I'll be updating it with more. I'm going to add like a possession thing going on, and I'll be adding like who is possessed. I won't have it as a hierarchy, but someone who's possessed or werewolfed or hexed or all those sorts of things where they're not necessarily villains because something under the curtains going on. Like, we recently watched the lake monster where Velma's a witch, but she's possessed or hexed. I don't know if she's possessed or hexed. Probably both, but I'd say more hexed because a witch put a spell on her. So, you could kind of fool around with those filters. And yeah, if that's something that interests you, check out the site. I'll leave a link below. Anyway, I'm going to shut up right now. And until next time, thank you for watching and stay spooky.